Welcome to Coffee and Candor. This is Amber.
Oh, that sounded all professional.
This is episode 6.
This is episode 6. Mm-hmm. So, what did you say? We're talking about Bigfoot and
the Squatch
and Bigfoot iterations.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Sasquatch. So, I for one believe in the Sasquatch.
It's good because he believes in you.
I know he's a big supporter.
I saw a meme. It was Kermit the Frog, and he was leaning up against the rainy window, and he's like, "I haven't seen any pictures of Bigfoot lately. I hope he's okay."
Oh God!
I think there have been so many sightings. There's got to be something.
I think so too. That's what I think.
Now, I kind of feel, and probably I'll get weird looks. I mean, we're talking about Bigfoot, so I shouldn't. But I kind of wonder, like, if Bigfoot and other
mythical creatures
live
together in a commune,
or like either.
I want to live there.
Yeah.
You could call them aliens, or from another dimension that kind of pop in and people see them and.
I don't know about all that. I will say this: one of the big arguments.
You crazy?
Yeah, that's too much.
I did not go that far. Thank you. But what I'm saying is, one of the big arguments people make is that the world is too populated. There's no way these people could ever, these creatures could ever live out here and people not see them. Okay, A, people do see them because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of reports. B, just in Arkansas, I have been in White River Refuge, Watsall State Management Area. There is places on those areas where there probably hasn't been people in that spot in years.
I mean, I always hate it when anybody, and it doesn't matter who it is or what it's about, says, well, that doesn't exist categorically. It's like, all right, you can't prove a negative. You can't it's impossible to prove that something doesn't exist.
Well, I tend to think
the best you can say is we haven't found evidence of that.
Right.
Which is not the same thing.
I tend to think the very fact that that anything that crosses cultures, times, places, things like that, it's just like the flood narratives.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, something happened that inspired
on a global scale.
Right. To those stories from a certain time period to be sort of universal across cultural boundaries and religious boundaries and everything else. So when you have that, you have to say that there has to be something. Like most myths and legends, there's truth in there somewhere.
Whether it's exactly how it is stated to be or not, that's another story. But there's got to be some truth behind it, or it wouldn't have lasted that long.
It might have been a localized thing, but not.
Well, and that's why. And a lot of people laugh at this idea, but the idea of a global civilization, that's why I think that has a little bit of credence, because if you look at, Egypt, China, North and South America, they're the same types of pyramid structures in all of them, and you're not going to ever convince me that they all figured that shit out at the same time.
On their own.
Yeah, independent of each other. I can't believe that.
Aliens.
All right, that dude's hair is really awesome.
It is.
I think his hair is an alien.
Yeah. It's like a symbiote.
It's some sort of symbiotic relationship going on there.
But no, you've got you're talking about Egypt and pyramid structures and all that, but in the same line, you have the Yeti in India. You have Bigfoot. You have almost every culture has
wild man.
Some
like
sort.
Nona or something.
Oh yeah, there's different ones. Like Thailand has their own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's
and what it could be, because there's like the abominable snowman, which is I think that's the Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be like bears. There are bears everywhere. They don't all look exactly the same, but they're all bears.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure a lot of the reports, I couldn't tell you a percentage. A lot of the reports are probably mistaken identities for bears or this or that. Mm-hmm. Some of them I don't know. I mean, when you see something for a long period of time at a relatively close distance,
I'm going to know whether it was a bear.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you catch
that I've never seen
maybe
before.
Fleeting glance out of the corner of your eye, but if you see good enough to watch it move, I mean, we've all seen, supposedly there aren't big cats here in Arkansas.
Except when the big cats start showing up. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but we've all seen the footage where, it doesn't take a lot to look at and say, that's not a canine, that's a feline, just by the movement,
Well, and I don't know if you know this, but like the government narrative has changed now that, there's some here, but there's not breeding populations here.
Nobody ever
It
said
only
that.
takes two.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, it only takes two.
Nobody ever said that there was
you
like
give them
a
little bit of
sustainable
alcohol and sing them
breed.
a song and they're going to breed.
Yeah.
So, Chris, you're telling me that if you saw a bear standing
On its hind legs.
you
No, I mean,
you
it's
would
different.
know you wouldn't know whether that was a bear or a Sasquatch.
Well,
No,
Amber,
that's
it's
not-
different.
that's
If he was
absolutely
going
not.
by on the freeway at 60 miles an hour and saw that may be a different story.
Well,
but
that-
if you're
that's
standing
absolutely-
there
a lot,
watching
a
it,
lot of people are.
yeah.
You know,
But
watching
that
it.
is not that's not at all what I said. I mean, I said actually what I said
sorta
was
is.
maybe. But when you see something and you're unfamiliar with it and it's scary and your adrenaline spikes, what you see and what you think you see a lot of times are not the same.
Have you ever seen a bear standing?
Yes.
It looks nothing like a Sasquatch.
No.
I don't know. I've never seen a Sasquatch.
You've seen people's renderings of Sasquatch.
Yeah.
What's the plural of a Sasquatch? Sasquatches? Sasquai?
Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
Yeah.
If it's not, it's going to be now.
You're damn right it is. But you know what else makes it hard to actually legitimately identify anything like that is all of these assholes pulling hoaxes. You know?
Well, yeah, no, that does
because
that's definitely a problem.
and it's like this with a lot of I'm gonna call them paranormal searches, right? Extra normal, whatever you want to call
I know
it.
you're not going to bring up my boys in the Ghost Adventures. What?
Well, no, I wasn't, but it's like that with it's like that with a lot of those types of pursuits that one proven hoax discredits
sets you back. Yeah, no,
so many
definitely.
legitimate
Definitely.
instances of activity, you know? And it's the same thing with that, you know, just like the Loch Ness Monster. Or... I don't know if he's a monster. I've never talked to him. He might
I
be
heard he's a nice guy.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Like the Loch Ness Monster, the de facto definitive picture of him. 70 years later, the guy comes back and says, "Oh, that was faked." I mean, so you just just discredited.
Yeah, I mean,
But at the same time, there has been reports of something in that lake going back hundreds of years.
Yeah, this isn't just a...
Yeah, so there's something there that's not explained. I mean, we don't know what it is, but...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's something there, and the idea that some uppity academic thinks he has the authority to say, "Oh, well, there's nothing there." Well, you, sir, are full of all the shit. Because number one, it's impossible to disprove something like that unless you literally drag the Loch Ness Lake all at the same time.
Yeah, but they've kind of done that though with sonar, and we didn't find anything. You know,
Yeah, but
they
that only
literally
proves
had a
it's not
line
there
of
right
boats
now.
going across. Yeah,
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
there could be underwater caves.
You'd have to do the whole thing at once.
I don't think even then.
Yeah, no.
Because like
There's channels and stuff. That
caves, I mean,
swim in and out.
all you could say is it's not there right
Well,
now.
and I'll tell you what, I have a little bit of experience. I was involved with a search for an endangered species, and
Which one? That
The
was
group-
the ivory bill
woodpecker.
Okay.
The group that was kind of in charge of that whole search, there was 5 or 6 permanent team members, and then there was a lot of volunteers. But they would go into an area that was 30,000 acres, and
That's a
call
big
that
area to search.
Looking for one small bird.
and called
Yeah.
that searched for that day.
Oh,
with
no.
5 or 6 people. No, that's not searched. You might be on this half, and hey, he's over on this half this day.
Right.
I mean,
that's 30,000 acres to search in a day or a week.
yeah.
I mean,
But
that's
basically,
a
that was
lot.
For
their
something
line
smaller
of,
than a house cat.
Their line of thinking
How big are
was
those?
that.
They're pretty big.
Yeah, they're
Well,
pretty big. I mean, you're talking like
So the size of a
standing
house
up like
cat.
18 inches. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing that they would that was covered this day. No, it wasn't. You had people there,
right?
But it wasn't covered.
Especially something that can easily fly.
Yeah,
Well, it can fly. It
So
can be,
quick.
in a nest. It could be.
That's like there was this some sort of tiger that was thought to have gone extinct, and I can't remember.
You talking about the
Tasmanian tiger.
Yeah,
in
Tasmanian
Australia?
tiger, yeah, was supposedly extinct for like 150 years until someone caught a couple of really, really good images of them on a wildlife camera.
Yeah,
And they were
there's a
like-
recent one that it's wow.
and even then, the academics that looked at it, they're that can't be it. They're extinct. No, you were wrong. And
There was
it's-
there was
and it's
enough
okay
left
to admit that.
to have a breeding population for a few generations. They're still technically extinct because it's not a viable species. I mean, there's not enough of them to keep breeding, but yeah, I mean,
I
some
don't know.
survive.
If we as humans leave them alone, they might persist.
I guess-
Science says no. There has to be enough to account for
But
births and
nature
deaths
does
and,
a lot of things that science said it can't or doesn't
nature
do.
finds a way.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
I've watched plenty of Jurassic Park.
Oh my God! Did you see there was an article that they were talking about? Oh yeah, cloning or replication or whatever of dinosaurs is just a couple of years away. It's like there are 5 movies that show why that's a horrible idea.
Yeah, I'm no kidding.
I still
well,
want them to do
there
it.
actually there's a is it South Korean company that is very much working on
That's how they get Godzilla.
Yeah,
cloning the mastodon.
Do you want
They're getting
Godzilla?
close.
Because that's how you get it.
Nah, well, I mean,
Are they doing it in Costa Rica? Let's
No,
just go ahead
no.
and do that.
Am I the only one that still wants them to bring them all back? I want to see it all. Like, I want the mastodon. I want the
I want to
mammoth.
see them before they step on me and crush me.
I want the saber-toothed tiger. I want to see them all.
That would be a really cool day. And then we'd all be dead.
You know,
those are apex predators, right?
I agree with bringing back animals that the
We
human
caused.
race
Yeah.
has
And I
caused.
agree. I mean, I'm kidding about
do
the
it.
saber-toothed
Yeah.
tiger, but I mean,
Oh, I'm
actually,
not.
the human race.
No, I
we
would-
did hunt the mammoth to death. The human race did.
Yeah.
Primitive humans, but still humans. And
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think it's amazing because it makes me sick to see like the white rhino that just happened like in the last year, and I mean that's just so sickening to think about. You know, it makes you realize that if in another 20 generations he'll be a myth, like just like unicorns and like Sasquatch, or
I saw a really interesting, and it was a meme, but it was actually true. It's like, what's more believable? A horse with a horn sticking out of its head, or a giraffe with a 40-foot neck? I mean,
I mean,
I saw
yeah,
that.
biology in itself is so diverse and so rich that
Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm totally fine with them bringing back species that we have caused their extinction, because that's bad on us. Oops, sorry. But species that went extinct naturally, I think they should leave gone, because they're going to go extinct again.
fine, so I'll never have my pet T-Rex.
But yeah,
Imagine the yard space for that.
Jesus Christ,
Can you imagine trying to keep it fed?
T-Rex support animal.
Damn, we can't keep a dog anymore.
But back to the Bigfoot thing. Yeah, and I'm not a Bigfoot scholar, so.
Oh, I'm not either. I mean,
well,
I'm
you probably know more about
interested in it for sure.
about the Sasquatch than I do, but I do know that there are mentions of such a creature on almost every continent. Maybe not in Australia and New Zealand, but
I believe so. Yeah, it's a yowie or something.
in Australia.
Oh, really?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, almost every culture
continent,
has
every
some
culture,
sort of-
there is.
Yeah.
It's
the
across
wild
the board.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, it permeates our entire planet.
And
I mean,
it's
you can't tell me that. Yes, I get that there's misidentifications and that sort of thing, but not all of it.
Yeah, but it's really hard. The idea that there are these stories that are so similar of a creature that is identified as almost identical to every other one, and
with differences just color of
and they're
where
all